Okay, so in order to graph a parabola, the first thing you have to know is the standard form for the equation of a parabola, and that is y equals x minus h quantity squared plus k, where hk is going to be the vertex of the parabola, and the equation x equals h is the equation of the axis of symmetry for the parabola. And so to graph a parabola, just like when you graph a line and you try to get it in the y equals mx plus b form, for the parabola, you have to get your equation in this form right here. You have to make your parabola equation look like that. And so to do that, we have to do completing the square. We need to get a binomial squared, x minus h. So we're going to complete the square, and the way we do that is that we're going to rewrite this, x squared minus 6x plus blank, and then we have to put that plus 1 over here. We can't let that disappear. Everything has to be accounted for. And so whatever we add into that blank, we're going to also have to subtract, because you're not allowed to just add something to an equation without also either adding it to the other side or subtracting it again, because you can't change the equation. You're just changing what the equation looks like. All right, we know that to complete the square, you look at your x coefficient, take half of it, and then square it. 6 over 2 is 3. 3 squared is 9. So we're going to add 9 and subtract 9. Now that you have done that, you have created a perfect square binomial. These numbers right here can be written x minus 3 quantity squared. The number that goes here is half the x coefficient. Half of 6 is 3. Then over here to the right, we still have plus 1 minus 9, which is minus 8. So now our equation looks like the standard form for the equation of a parabola. So let's look at that standard form and see if it matches perfectly with what we just did. Okay, so we just want to check and make sure everything's correct. The y is a y. The equal sign is an equal sign. The x is an x. The minus is a minus. The h will be 3. So h is 3. It is squared. Then we have plus k is supposed to be minus, so we need to rewrite minus 8 so that it has a plus sign. And the way you do that is you write plus negative 8. It's just another way to write minus 8 so that it matches the way it's supposed to. All right, so k must be negative 8. Everything matched. We got the numbers we need, so now we know that the vertex of this parabola is h, k, because that's what we're told right up here by the equation, and so that's going to be 3, negative 8, which is right there. So vertex is 3, negative 8, and the axis of symmetry is the line x equals h, which is a vertical line through h, and h is 3, so x equals 3 is our axis of symmetry. So axis of symmetry. All right, so we have our vertex, we have our axis of symmetry. Now we just need to get a few more points so that we can make sure we draw it accurately. Okay, so we're going to pick a couple of values for x and see what we get for y. So I'm going to start out by picking x equals 2. You can pick anything you want to. If x equals 2, then y is going to be 2 squared minus 6 times 2 plus 1, which is 4 minus 12 plus 1, which is negative 7. So the point 2, negative 7 is on this parabola. And since the axis of symmetry is that red line, I know if 2, negative 7 is on there, then 4, negative 7 is also going to be on there because it's on the other side of the axis of symmetry and it's exactly the same distance away. And the parabola has to be symmetric, so it's going to look the same on the left side of that red line as it looks on the right side. So I'm going to try another point. I'll try x equals 0. So if x equals 0, I'll have y equals 0 squared minus 6 times 0 plus 1, which is 1. So I know the point 0, 1 is going to be on this parabola. And since the parabola is symmetric and that point is 3 units away from the red line, there's going to be another point just like it, 3 units away on the other side. I'll say x is equal to negative 1. If x is negative 1, then y is going to be negative 1 squared minus 6 times negative 1 plus 1 is equal to 1 plus 6 plus 1, which is 8. So the point negative 1, 8 is on this parabola, and just like it on the other side, 4 spaces away will be 7, 8. And so that parabola is going to look like that.